Aloha and welcome, Jan Wakefield here. I just wanted to go over the channeling session disclaimer and agreement. So first of all, I want to thank you for participating in a channeling session, whether it's private or public. I'm grateful that you're here. Please read and acknowledge this disclaimer before proceeding. Please understand the nature of services. The information provided during channeling sessions is for educational, spiritual, and entertainment purposes only. These services are not intended to replace professional medical, psychological, financial, legal, or other licensed advice. The scope of services includes insights, guidance, and information received during the sessions are to be considered spiritual and metaphysical in nature. Sessions may explore personal growth, spiritual development, and general life guidance. Information shared is not predictive and should not be taken as absolute truth. You maintain full responsibility for your own decisions and actions. Some important limitations. The practitioner, me, I do not diagnose, treat, or cure any medical condition. I cannot prescribe medications or advise about changing existing medications. I do not provide mental health therapy or counseling. I do not offer financial or investment advice. I do not provide legal counsel, and I cannot guarantee specific outcomes or results. Your responsibilities here are the following. By participating in a channeling session, you acknowledge that you are 18 years of age or older. You understand that this is not a substitute for professional services. You maintain full responsibility for your physical, mental, and emotional well-being. You will seek appropriate professional help for medical, psychological, financial, or legal concerns. You exercise your own judgment in applying any information received. Medical and mental health notice. If you are experiencing medical or mental health issues, consult qualified healthcare professionals. Maintain your prescribed treatments and medications. Do not delay or discontinue professional medical care. Treat channeling sessions and channeled healing sessions as complementary to, not replacements for, professional care. Your agreement. By proceeding with the session, you acknowledge that you have read, understood, and agreed to the terms and limitations. Your participation indicates acceptance of these terms and understanding of the non-professional nature of channeling services. Thank you. Aloha and welcome everyone to the Tuesday morning channeling session. I'm so grateful that you are here. Today is going to be a really incredible session. I've been speaking to the Blues already this morning. They tend to pop in every Tuesday now, so I have a little bit of insider information when the Tuesday morning channeling starts. For those of you who are new to the experience, welcome. If you haven't already subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. And know that there are some really great things that are coming along the way. I have a special event happening on August 13th and 14th. It is about pets. And yeah, it's going to be really great. So if you're interested, go ahead and reach out to me or put your name in the chat. Someone will grab your email address. We'll make sure we get you connected up with that information. Okay, so for today, let's begin with the heart breath. That's usually where the blues start. So go ahead and close your eyes. Let's start with the natural breathing and checking in with your body. So when you do your body scan at the beginning of every session, you're getting a baseline of where you are today. And I tend to scan from the top of my head down to my feet. But for some of you with more pressing health concerns or pervasive thoughts, maybe something else is coming up first. So check in with the tiny muscles in your face. How relaxed are you today? And if you find areas of tension, remember that your breath, the in breath, can help you to create space in areas of tension. And making sure you check in with your arms and your legs, all the way down to the fingertips, all the way down to the toes. And checking in with your breath itself. Are your lungs expanding wide? Are your sinuses feeling a little bit challenged today? Are you able to breathe in to expand your lungs and your belly? And if not, just give yourself a moment to breathe into the space. And maybe with a light touch, say to yourself, it's okay to breathe deeply. It's okay to fill myself with more space, more light, more love, more connection. And tap into your thoughts if you haven't already done so. Where's your mind going today? Are you here or are you somewhere else? Are you thinking about the rest of your day? Are you remembering things that you've forgotten? Or are you ruminating about an experience and thinking that your thoughts are somehow going to change the past? If that's the case, breathe deeply and slowly into those thoughts, creating space and forgiveness. And tap into the sensations, what you might call feelings in your body. Are your thoughts associated with fear, anger, sadness, joy, whatever it is, just notice. The blue healers have arrived in the space. The violet people have arrived in the space. A seventh dimensional group has arrived in the space. And they are here for the specific assistance of one of your questions. The energy and presence of the 12th dimensional beings has arrived. And as you are focused on your inward breath, Allow yourself to begin the heart breath with intention, breathing in through 6 and 5 to 4. Release front to back and up to 8. Breathe in through 6 and 5 to 4. And continue the heart breath at your own pace, releasing front to back and up to 8. Allow this breath to feel comfortable in your body. Allow your heart to expand wide. And allow your release, your exhale, to completely release into energy center 8 at the top of your head. The directions again. You will breathe in the energy through 6 and 5 to 4. Expand the heart wide. Release, exhale from front to back, circling around the arms like the rings of Saturn. The energy enters into the back of 4 and rises up the spine through the top of the head to 8. Continuing the heart breath. And on your next inhale, breathe in through 6 and 5 to 4, 3, 2, and 1 at once. Release front to back and up to 8. Again, in through 6 and 5 to 4, 3, 2, and 1 at once. Release front to back and up to 8. Breathe in through 6 and 5 to 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 at once. Release front to back and up to 8. Continue this breath sequence for 4 more repetitions. And when you are complete, resume your natural breathing. Scanning your body once again to observe the space you have created within yourself. The violet people have formed a circle around this entire group today. Their intention is one of healing. They recognize that at least one in this group is in need of significant physical and emotional healing. The reminder from the Violet people today is that your physical experience is directly and intrinsically connected to your emotional and feeling body. And that sometimes for some humans, it is necessary for the healing of the physical body that the individual who is unwell looks to the emotional world, the psychological world, for the next piece in releasing the need for the physical harm or experience or illness one is having at this time. And so, if you are wondering what your next step is, seek assistance with the habits and patterns in your mind with the assistance of someone trained professionally in the realm of psychology for humans in order to unwind the limitation in your mind so that your physical body has the hope and the possibility of reconnecting to the quantum field and allowing that coherence to create a vibrational frequency of wellness. We will begin with your first question.
Question from Tatiana. Dear Blue Healers, you once mentioned that the breath is also a form of communication with higher beings. Could you explain how this communication works? How to use it? For example, the spiral breath and the energy centers during meditation, and how to consciously use this as a communication tool. In love and gratitude for your profound teachings, Tatiana.
We are truly grateful for this beautiful question because we have explained in the past and feel that it is always important to repeat information so that any new people, or just as a reminder to those of you who have heard it once before. There are many ways that beings communicate on your planet. For example, you have words, and humans have made it delightfully complex that words are spoken differently amongst different peoples on your planet. We would like for you to understand that there are some universal languages. For example, speaking with your hands. Sign language has become almost a universal language for your kind, although very unfortunately, most of the people on your planet are incapable of speaking or understanding the sign language you have created because you have limited it to a specific group of people. The same is true for some humans with the ability to understand the language of other living things, not just human communication. And so you are very adept at speaking to your animals. And for many of you, your animals are a beautiful expression of your own heart. And because you have that deep vibrational understanding of what your animals need, many of you feel that you are closer to your animals than you are to the other humans in your life. And it is with that the next step where humans create complications in the communication patterns by using words. What if you were to consider the possibility that your words were irrelevant and unnecessary and only created as a complication to direct communication vibrationally between you and your loved ones and every other being in the world. The importance of understanding verbal and written language as an art form makes it then a beautiful expression of humanity and who you are. If you can see your written and verbal communication as an art form, then you will understand that it speaks to you and through you the same way a painting, music, or any other form of artistic expression moves through and to you, communicating something that is a little deeper if only you allow the faculty of your senses to perceive the messages that come along with the artistic expression. We say this because it is important for you to understand that your language, your communication is very fun and interesting to you. But also begin to understand in your world how these tools of communication also come with it the counterproductive side of manipulation. And so you may find that music, paintings, and language, both written and spoken, are a way to in, create intrigue in the human emotional landscape, in the human psychological landscape. And when you begin to understand that language in its counterproductive form, that music in its counterproductive form, pushes the human into a state of lower vibrational frequency and lack of coherence with the heart. And perhaps at this time, for all of humanity, it is maybe a place where those of you with awareness can begin to focus your attention on the cessation of using language as a form of manipulation for producing a space in which the use of language for manipulation, whether it is in casual conversation, whether it is in the information you allow your mind and body to receive from the world outside of your physical 3D expression, it is perhaps a good time for those of you with awareness to completely understand and do your best to not be affected by the manipulative nature of those who are unconscious and use their words to attempt to create a lower vibrational frequency or lack of harmony. So it is not just enough to be aware of that experience, it is for you as individuals to become actively opposed to the use of language in that way in your world whatsoever. Teach your children how to use their words with love and kindness. Remember and teach yourself again and again how to use your words with love and kindness. And when you are in an experience where others' words are producing the lower vibrational frequency or a lack of love and kindness, use your own words as a way to divert that energy back to love and kindness. If you are incapable of doing so, it is better for you to not be in that vibrational frequency at all. So now that we have explained how human language is both a positive and a somewhat limiting experience, let us talk more about the breath practice and the universal language of the breath. If you think about it, all living things have a way of communicating without words, feelings, or sensations. The breath practice itself is a communication avenue that all humans have in common, and many other living things on your planet also breathe in a way that is a form of communication with them for their kind. And if you are listening carefully, it is available to you and your kind. And so the breath practice is, in a way, an avenue of communication for extra dimensional beings to reach the human, bypassing the mind, because our attempts to speak into your mind get lost in the muddle of the endless thoughts that you have around habits and patterns that you use and believe are required for the survival of yourself and your species. And so, our many, many, many attempts to speak to you directly to your mind have been thwarted and pushed away by your own thoughts so frequently that we have discovered the breath is a better way for us to communicate vibrationally so that the human body can take in the information and re-inform the cells through the central nervous system. That is not just contained in your body, but is a neural network that reaches from your nervous system. Every nerve in your body connects up to every other nervous system of every other human, every other living thing, the planet itself, your solar system, your galaxy, and the universe itself into the quantum field. So, your beautiful science, your beautiful forms of medicine seek to ever see with the human eyes that connection, yet it may be a bit of a challenge due to the fact that the human faculty for vision is so very limited. And so, if you are interested in understanding more about the breath practice and how this communication works, simply do it. Close your eyes right now and breathe in from 8 to 1 in a spiral, and release from 1 to 8 in a spiral. And continue this as we speak, eyes open or eyes closed. Whatever works best for you is fine. But as you do this spiral breath practice from 8 to 1, you are reinforming yourself from the collective humanity, the information of all things. It is a little like if you were to put dye into a tub of water with a piece of fabric. When you put the dye into the water, it starts out as being separate, and then it begins to swirl and mix with the information of the water. And then you put in a piece of fabric, which remains dry for a short period of time until it becomes saturated by the liquid. And then the fibers of the fabric individually have a conversation with the water and with the dye, and they make an agreement to come together so that the fabric is another color altogether completely. And so now the fabric and the water and the dye have all come into coherence to create a fabric of a different color. And so the same is true for you when you breathe in from 8 to 1, drawing in the vast collective energy of humanity. You allow this information to wash through your cells, coming in through your nervous system. And then the information begins to wash into the cells, much like the water or the dye. And your cells can make a choice. There is nothing you need to do with your mind. The cells begin to make choices based on the space you have created in yourself, in your heart, and in your ability to create coherence. And so now your cells may say to the information coming in from 8 through the spiral, I am ready to be influenced, to be changed, to be loved into a different experience. And when the cells are complete with the wash, the exhale will happen from 1 to 8, and the old information of the cells can then be released into the collective to become something new. And so we can say that your 8th energy center, all of the information of humanity, is constantly washing and changing information around so that the evolution of the human can become more and more what you would call positive or a higher vibrational frequency. And so here you are. Some of you have already forgotten what you are doing. Begin to breathe in from 8 to 1 again in a spiral, drawing the information in of humanity, and release 1 to 8, letting go of the cellular energy that no longer allows you to live in a state of coherence. And again, you breathe in. And notice with every in-breath, continue the breath on your own at your own pace. Notice with the in-breath that your breathing experience creates space. Your cells like extra space. Your cells love to be released from the gravity of the habits and patterns that push you into the survival mechanism that is no longer needed or operational if you are living in coherence. And as you continue this breath in and out in every moment, when you feel your body begin to dissolve, feel as if it might lift off and float around the room in which you are, continuing the breath in from 8 to 1 and out 1 to 8. When your body feels lighter than it has ever felt before, breathe in from 8 to 0 and release from 0 to 9. Now you are taking the levity of the experience of releasing the heavier energies from your cells to the quantum field. This, when there is more space in your cells, this is where the quantum field can re-inform you with the collective information of the universe, or everything and nothing all at once. And then you continue to breathe for a minimum of 10 to 12 breath cycles from 9 to 0 and 0 to 9. And it is here you remember that you are an expression of the quantum energy field, and that the quantum energy field is connected through you down through the center of your spine in the tiny space of nothingness that runs directly through the energy center flow of your human body. And as you continue to reach the 10 breaths we have recommended, continue to remember that this quantum field is now the space in which you release your humanity in a beautiful way into the universe for other species in other worlds, other dimensions, and even other timelines to be informed by the collective information of humanity, so that all things in the entire universe can sense and feel what humanity has to offer them as well as what they have to offer you. You may feel free to continue this spiral breath or any other form of the spiral breath, the heart breath, or any breath practice we have spoken to you in the past while we take your next question.
Dear beloved blue healers, will another child come into my life? Is it part of my soul path to become pregnant again and give birth naturally? If so, how can I prepare myself, body, heart, and spirit to receive this soul with grace? With love and gratitude, Monica.
Monica, one of the most incredible experiences of being human is the ability to procreate, where the parts of the male and the female join together to create a little pod within the mother in order to allow the baby to grow and be born. This is a fascination for many extra dimensional beings because it is not the way, generally speaking, we procreate. And the uniqueness of the experience of pregnancy, the uniqueness of the experience of your kind, drawing information from the lineage of the mother and the lineage of the father to create a wholly unique being that looks like no other, that acts, speaks, and experiences your world like no other, is, as we said, a true fascination for our kind. Procreation in the human form is elective. Because your world is no longer in need of the survival mechanism of procreation in the same ways it was at the beginning of humanity, procreation is elective for you. This is your choice. The nature of your question sounds to us as if you are asking for permission to have another child, and only you can know if this is the correct decision. There are numerous souls, as you call them, waiting to be born, and many of them are of a high level of awareness, and they seek parents with awareness so that their journey through their next lifetime is a little bit more pleasant than tumbling into a lifetime without awareness or being raised by parents with a lower level of awareness. And so, our question would be to you: if you desire another child, why is it that you are asking for permission to do so? Simply engage in the activities required to become pregnant and go through with the experience in a state of coherence and love. If you are needing to ask us the question of whether or not you will get pregnant again, it is because there is some point within you that has doubt about the experience, either the ability to become pregnant, your ability to be an effective parent, or some other consideration within your mind. And so, take a few moments in your breath practice to begin to, as we said earlier in this session, to unwind what is going on in your human psychological realm. For some reason, you are handing over the possibility of you having another child to something outside of you. And while we are interested in knowing why humans do ask us these questions, we would like to say that as an empowering species, this is a decision for you to make, and you will be a beautiful parent should you choose to do so, simply because you have the interest in asking the question of whether or not you should do it one more time. And so go with this information, allow yourself to bring coherence into your brain, your heart, and most definitely your belly, the seat of your womb. Coherence will be the best place from which to gain access to pregnancy, to have a successful gestation period for your fetus, and for the lovely birth that your child will have into your magnificent world as an earthling. We will take your next question, please.
A question from Rashin. Dear Blue Healers, you said that many of us with neurological conditions are overloaded with frequencies. I have not had aura migraine for a long time, but now got it twice in about 1 month, despite feeling better and other neurological symptoms being less. Can you please share if the reason is overload of frequencies or anything else? Thank you.
We thank you for your question. As we have spoken many times about the neurological system, there is an additional piece to those of you with heightened sensitivities around the neurological system. And that is your human body is evolving to a place where it will begin to vibrate in and out of the third dimension. Try less and be more. In other words, reduce or release the need to try to be or become anything. Instead, simply be who you are in the moment. Relax into and release tension using your breath. If you find that meditation is too taxing on your nervous system, simply allow the breath to become part of your meditative practice in every waking moment. Allow yourself a few moments prior to sleep and first thing in the morning to remind your nervous system that it is electrical in nature and it needs to have some downtime along the way. Offer it the love and connection from your heart, the brain, the belly, and in addition to that, for those of you with neurological sensitivities, connect more deeply into your earth. Perhaps you are spending more time in nature. Be mindful of the balance of the elements within your body. Do you have too much air? Is there not enough earth? Do you have too much ether? Do you lack a little bit of fire? All of these elements within the human experience need to be maintained in a state of balance. Otherwise, the nervous system will feel a sense of being overwhelmed. Some solutions may be time in nature, immersion in water, and a deep relaxation period of time in every hour of your day to consistently allow the body to remember its need for allowing the nervous system to reset and calm down throughout the day. It will take a state of awareness, understanding, and maybe using tools in the 3D world to assist you in remembering and to assist you in actually following through with the experiences required to assist you. Of course, only you as an individual can know what form or experience you need in order for your nervous system to return to a calm state of being. And so use the tools at your disposal and also love your heart, your brain, and your belly coherence as often as possible. Slow down, take care, and remember coherence comes quickly through the breath practice. We will take your next question, please.
Thank you. Question from Anna. Dear Blue Healers, as I was standing in line to check out of store, in front of me was a newborn baby. As I lovingly looked at the baby, my body shook and vibrated with energy. Why does this happen to me with certain human beings, animals, plants, and not others? Is there a vibrational match? Thank you for your input.
This is starseed information activating in you. Every human on your planet has some sort or expression of starseed information. And so when you, as is common in the human experience, when you meet with somebody and have an instant connection, there is always something within you vibrationally that is matching up to something within the other, a vibrational frequency of familiarity. When familiarity comes together for humans, it could be from a place of past lives together, trauma responses that are similar, DNA that is shared, earth origins that are shared, or habits and patterns related to culture, religion, the place where you have grown up or were born, or places in your heart that feel familiar and loving. There are so many reasons that humans could have a connection to another human or other living things. And it would take us many hours to describe and discuss each thing. Understand, however, that when starseed information is activated, the human body may begin to shudder. This is simply because the vibrational frequency of extra-dimensional connections make the human form, the 3D body, have a physical response on occasion. This is not always the case because for many of you, your starseed information is already activated. Your cells, your nervous system has adjusted to that vibrational frequency. And when you meet someone with a starseed connection, your body may have no reaction whatsoever. You may simply feel a sense of connection or familiarity, and your heart will expand. Do not be confused, however, because you have some sort of familiarity with another living being, whether it is human or otherwise, does not mean that it will produce heart expansion. And so it is for you to understand the familiarity, the sense of connection with another living being, whether it is human or otherwise, and determine if your heart opens and expands or your heart contracts and feels a sense of discord or lack of harmony. These subtle understandings of your relationship to living things on your planet are indicators of you understanding vibrational frequencies of all things on a much deeper level. These are simple experiences in the human world that can greatly impact how quickly your cells will wash themselves clean of the need for survival when you do your breath practice. And so we acknowledge each of you for your understanding of familiarity with other living things. And now take it one step further. Which of these familiarities offer you freedom and expansion, and which do not? What a fun game this can be for the human being. And take it one step further. How about your animal realm? When do you feel a sense of familiarity with an animal? And what is its type? And do you feel a sense of expansion or contraction? How about your plant world? Do you feel a sense of expansion or contraction? How about things that are not plant or animal, including human? What about the stone realm? What about your earth beneath your feet? What about the ocean around you? What about the sky above you? Do you find that the climate in which you live is creating heart expansion or heart contraction? And then you get to ask yourself, which do I prefer, heart expansion or heart contraction? And so it becomes the path illuminating itself for you in a state of heart expansion. Choosing that path could lead to more or increased harmony within you and your body. Increased harmony within you and your body leads to increased harmony with you and the unseen world. We will take your next question.
A question from Natalie. Hello, beautiful blue healers. If our reality is a reflection of our inner state and focus, then when we stay focused on the past, especially painful or negative parts, are we energetically carrying that past into the present and reanimating it? And similarly, when collective attention is fixated on past wounds or fear-based narratives, like the news, is that why we see those timelines and patterns continuing to move forward in our world? Thank you.
This question has the answer in the question itself. You all know the answer to this question. The answer is that the past will continue to inform your present and your future so long as it remains in the unconscious or unknown of the human habit and pattern of survival. And as we described earlier in this call, communication in the human realm can serve to be expansive, or it can serve to be or create contraction or negative manipulation. Your news, much of what is created artistically, and we elect to call it an art, regardless of how it is perceived, your media based delivery systems of human communication can be very much heart constricting or heart contracting. It is for you as individuals to maintain a state where your heart goes into a state of expansion, awareness, coherence, and connection. And that is the place in which, when you are perpetually in a state of love, coherence, and heart expansion, you draw others into that place as well. You will find that others will seek to be in that space of your expanded heart more frequently. And those who fall away will find that their mechanism for human survival is still winning out over love, connection, and coherence. As you begin to spend more time in a state of love, connection, and coherence in your own heart, others of your same persuasion, love, coherence, and connection will join together, and you will produce groups of people doing the same, producing open hearted and coherent energy. And these groups will expand and grow across your planet until the vibrational frequency of coherence in love and connection supersedes that of the human need for the survival mechanism that produces fear, anxiety, anger, frustration, hate, harm, and any other words you would use to describe when someone is in a state of constriction, lack of coherence, in a state of requiring the need for survival over the need for love and connection. We will take your next question, please.
Thank you. Anna is asking, Dear Blue Healers, what is the best and fastest way to forgive someone or a situation and move on? Thank you.
The answer here is quite simple. Love yourself, forgive yourself, and allow yourself to be okay with living in a state of love and connection, of coherence with your own heart, in your own mind, in your own belly. And this love will supersede the fear of the inability to forgive someone else. Your forgiveness in the human world is solely and completely in forgiving yourself. When you have forgiven yourself for every experience that you have or have had or believe you may have, you will be in a total state of forgiveness for everyone and everything around you. Once you have forgiven yourself, you will find that the choices you make around those people, places, objects, things, experiences, and so forth that were once out of coherence or connection and creating a sense of disturbance within you will begin to fall away. You will know the answers to how to move through your world and stay in a state of coherence. People, places, objects, experiences will then begin to fall away so that you are completely aligned with only experiences outside of what you believe to be outside your physical body, because only coherence in love will vibrate out to bring back to you exactly the same thing that you are wanting in your heart. Your next question, please.
Our dear higher dimensional family, are we on the course as humanity, here and now, for a public disclosure when humanity will be presented with information that we are not alone, and you and other extra-dimensional and terrestrial beings here? There are many mentions about this with a timeline for 2027 year. What is your advice? How we can approach this topic?
The seventh dimensional beings who arrived at the beginning of this session have come specifically to talk about this topic and to speak to a specific person. First, it is important to understand and acknowledge that disclosure has already happened within many of your kind. You, as a collective, humans, are expecting disclosure to look a certain way. Instead, disclosure, and if you were to imagine anything from the unseen realm, is going to have to express itself in a way that is outside of the human visual capacity. And as we have described, humans' visual capacity is extremely limited. As we also have described, the human mind is very cluttered. And so our attempts to speak to your mind often is rejected by your kind simply because you are not yet, many of you are not yet ready to listen to thoughts or communications that are outside of the human experience. There has been a pattern and a habit developed over the course of time that if humans hear things in their mind that are not concretely in front of them, they are somehow disturbed in their minds. And so, in order to avoid being rejected by the community, which would result in a human not surviving, you have actively rejected disclosure from your world. If you are expecting to see things with your eyes, if you are expecting extra dimensional beings to appear before your eyes, the only way that would happen is if the collective of humanity prior to the year that you have described has decided consciously to be able to see extra dimensional beings, meaning the coherence within the individual spreads out far enough to the community, to all of humanity, where it is possible for the human to see with their own eyes extra dimensional beings. Yes, that will happen most certainly. And so you ask our kind again and again, what is the timeline? And we can only answer, it is up to humanity to choose the timeline for disclosure. Disclosure has happened, and we can tell you it is true because you are here listening to us in this moment. If any of you in this space listening to this recording sees this or hears this or experiences this as anything other than disclosure, it is time for you to redefine what disclosure means to you. We have come. You have asked. We are speaking. And so it is disclosure. We are revealing ourselves to you. The seventh dimensional beings we will translate for them directly. The seventh dimensional beings ask that for those of you in this space who have not yet connected with your own extra-dimensional guides, it is time for you to do so. There is a new voice piece that is emerging in the human body. It is the fifth energy center. And from the fifth energy center, you will be able to communicate with your extra dimensional contacts. And so forget about trying to use your mouth. Forget about trying to use your head, and instead focus on the fifth energy center as a way of communicating through the release of energy in a spiral from the throat and circling around to the back of the fifth energy center, such as the heart breath, up to 8, and then to 9. And so please close your eyes. At their direction, they are using the language of breath that we have created for you as an avenue. And when you breathe in from 8 to 5 in a spiral. As you exhale, release from the front of 5 to the back of 5 and back up to 8. As it enters the back of 5, it spirals up to 8. Breathe in from 8 to 5 in a spiral. Release front to back and spiral up to 8. Please continue this for 3 more repetitions at your own pace. And when you complete your next exhale, exhale to 9 and breathe in from 9 to 5 in a spiral. Release front to back and up to 9. Breathe in 9 to 5. And release 5 to 9. Continue that breath practice as they continue to speak to you. For those of you with a delicate nervous system, we ask that you bring one more element into this breath. Continue breathing 9 to 5 in a spiral, but also on your inhale, breathe in from 0 to 5 and 9 to 5 at the same time, drawing energies through the earth, drawing energies from the quantum field associated with the earth. 0 to 5, 9 to 5, release front to back, up to 9 and down to 0 at the same time. This will assist in the healing and coherence within the nervous system. Continue the breath for 3 more cycles at your own pace. And as you continue this breath, notice the sensations in your body Notice anything you hear in your mind. Are you ready for disclosure? Continue the breath. Wherever you are in your state of coherence, allow yourself to love you as you are. If you are prepared for coherence and your body is somehow still tense, give yourself more love. If your mind has already told you it is not ready for disclosure, continue the breath practice and give yourself more love. And 3 more of the same breath practice, please. And resume your natural breathing. Scan your body for the beautiful space you have created today. And the seventh dimensional beings have additional information for you. There is an emergence of an energy center that is between 6 and 5. It is assistive in the communication process with extra dimensional beings. For each of you to do your breath practice and to consider the possibility of this energy center emerging into the human experience between 6 and 5 will be a gateway that opens for extra dimensional communication. There will come a time in your world where the human visual capacity will evolve and shift to see extra dimensional species from certain dimensions, but not all dimensions. The violet people are receding. The seventh dimensional beings have an additional message for Emily. Emily, it is your children and your children's children who will live in what currently is defined as disclosure. And the importance for you is in creating a space for children that will be encompassing of the, the skills these children will most beautifully love to learn and to express an experience in a world of pure safety. It is for the parents who are existing on the planet today, for you to clean up the mess that has occurred due to the lack of coherent parameters of what is acceptable in human behavior. Your kind need to evolve out of the requirement of an authoritarian parent to create radical and illogical structure. So, for the parents of this world now, it is time for you to increase balance in your heart. Understand that those being born require information of love and coherence from the moment they are born, being reminded of their true nature, of love and connection to the unseen world, and to begin to deconstruct old paradigms that no longer serve humanity in its evolution toward connection in the heart. There is quite a lot of transmutation that needs to happen on your planet. And it can happen most rapidly through meditation and breath practice, where coherence is the experience individuals seek to have. Please close your eyes. Breathe into your heart, your brain, and your belly at once, drawing coherence into your body. And as a collective, turn and face that which is no longer acceptable because of the lack of coherence. Face that in your mind's eye. Hold coherence in your brain, your heart, and your belly, and allow the vibrational frequency of coherence to expand far from your physical body into your space, into your family, into your community, into your nation, into the world around you, into your earth. Never underestimate the ability you have within you to affect positive change in yourself first, and then those around you. Drawing your energy back to your own heart. Tapping once again into coherence of the brain, the heart, and the belly within you. Understanding that this is your sacred space. Our questions and answers are complete for today. The seventh dimensional beings will remain with Emily. The blue healers recede from the space. We thank you, as always, for your interest in our kind your interest in the expansion of your own heart and your interest in the answers that we have that you hope will bring you into more coherence. We are always here to answer your questions. Be patient and loving with yourselves in the process. And know that you can ask us questions in your meditations, during your breath practice, and in the quiet moments before you fall asleep. Thank you again for bringing your beautiful, loving, and gentle hearts to this space to share with us and with those around you. The healers leaving the space. All right. Thank you to all of you for being here. I just have one thing that the Blue Healers have asked to clarify, and that is the new breath practice that they introduced from the seventh dimensional beings. So the spiral goes from 8 to 5, circles from front to back, spirals up to 8. So if you were to imagine that you see 2 lines of information coming from 8 in a spiral to 5, those 2 lines then separate and circle to the back and spiral back up to 8. And then you can do 9 to 5, 5 to 9. And then for those of you with the delicate nervous system, the additional part was drawing the spiral from 8 to 5, 9 to 5, and drawing up from the earth energies from 0 to 5 at the same time. So you have, see if I can do this, the spiral like this, and they meet here. They circle around and then they go this way. Yeah, so that is the explanation they had for the spiral, and seeing those two distinct lines circling from front to back. And then part of the energy goes up and part of it goes down. For those of you with the delicate nervous system, it sounds like it's meant to be a healing breath as well. So let me know how it goes. I understand that Jan Wakefield and Jan Wakefield Professional Healer, DBA, Jan Wakefield Awakened, will own the copyrights to the recordings and all materials created or distributed in connection with these channelings, sessions, and workshops, and that no personal recording devices or cameras are permitted inside the channelings, sessions, or workshops. Any reproduction or distribution of any such materials to third parties without the express written consent of Jan Wakefield is prohibited. I hereby grant Jan Wakefield and Jan Wakefield Professional Healer, DBA, Jan Wakefield Awaken, the right to reproduce in any manner whatsoever, without compensation, any recording of my presence during this channeling, session, or workshop. I assume full responsibility for my reception and use and results from the materials connected with this in any way. Channeling, sessions, and workshops. I assume full responsibility for my reception and use of and results from the materials connected in any way with this channeling, session, or workshop. And I understand that Jan Wakefield and Jan Wakefield Professional Healer, DBA Jan Wakefield Awaken, is responsible only for the orderly presentation of the channelings, sessions, and workshops, and that I am voluntarily responsible for my own participation in channeling, sessions, and workshops, and for my own well-being. I hereby acknowledge and I have read the channeling, sessions, and workshops guidelines fully. I understand them. And by attending a Jan Wakefield channeling session or workshop, or signing below, I agree to be bound by their terms and conditions. I certify that I am 18 years of age or older, and I accept the channeling sessions and workshop guidelines at my own free will.